everyone, and welcome to Tal Talks. I am really excited because I have two really great guests, and they are 2/3 of a group called Bardy Pardy. Would you like to say hello and introduce yourselves?
Hi! Kind of the way we normally do. Hi, I'm Molly O'Flaherty.
And I'm Ella Grimsley.
And Lula Tattersby can't be with us today, but we are Bardy Pardy!
Oh man, I can't wait to see that live eventually.
No.
That'll be really cool.
It's always interesting on these video chats.
Yeah, there's like a delay and you're like waiting for the other person.
That comes out, we are.
Yay!
Imagine the applause. So how exactly would you describe your group, your music, and what kind of music do you play / sing for run fairs?
Well,
we talk about who is going to answer questions. So
we are three peasants singing a variety of different kinds of folk music, some traditional folk music, some more modern inspired stuff, and also some story songs and comedic songs. And as I like to say, wrapped up in beautiful 3-part harmony.
And is it mostly singing, or do you have other instruments that you do?
We have our instrumentalist mostly. I think that between Tallulah and I, our percussion, shaker eggs here and there, and a tambourine and some drumming. But yes, I was going to say.
Yeah, I mostly play the instruments, guitar, occasionally mandolin. But for the most part, we're a singing group. I think that's definitely the cornerstone of what we do.
We can hit those 3-part harmonies. It's just, we get to that zone.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so many of those older folk songs are just vocals. They wouldn't have instruments in them because, people aren't able to afford the instruments, or they didn't exist.
Totally.
It's
good. So how exactly did your group get together? I know that you're all from different places, different things that you have going on. How did this merge into Bardy Pardy?
We were fortunate enough to meet at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair in 2017, or 15, 17, or however we're doing that. Anyhow,
we're in there.
We were all together on the cast at the New Jersey Fair, and somebody had said, okay, well, we're looking to make some musical groups up out of the cast this year who wants to perform on the street. And we all went to the back of the theater after a short bit of rehearsal that day and ended up getting tossed into little groups, really. And I think that the three of us were three of the last folks. Some people kind of immediately glommed on and was like, oh yes, and we kind of got tossed together, and it was magic.
It was magic. We were really just supposed to sort of make sort of ambiance for the fair, so it was nothing really set. And then the directors heard us rehearsing one day and were like, hey, do you guys want a stage show?
And we're like, yeah. Weekends. Yeah, the whole second 2 weekends we had a stage slot, so that was lovely.
And from there, we just realized it really was meant to be. They kind of randomly were assigned to work together. And just from day one, everything we did just came together perfectly and was amazing. And we're like, okay, even though the fair's over, we can't stop this. We have to keep doing it. And kind of just snowballed from there into what it is today.
When folks keep asking, so are you going to be back next year?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yes.
I guess
so. It's nice when things click like that, when they just sort of come together.
It was super magical.
Definitely.
But you're in other groups, right? What other Ren Fair stuff do you do?
Oh, I am. You're talking specifically to me because the Pirates of Fortune's Folly have also done work with the Massachusetts Ren Fair. Thank you very much. I am also known as First Mate Kat McKenna of the Pirates of Fortune's Folly, who's picture me and the captain, which happens to be on my desk. So that's my other group. I'm mostly actor, combatant, and comedian for that group, but I am also known as ship's musician. Because I can't stop myself from singing all the time anyway. So those are my two main groups when I'm not doing specific characterized Ren Fair cast stuff. But my two independents are the Bardy Pardy and and the pirates.
I have to get back into it. I'm going to ask you more questions about the combat. So, what got you into run fairs in the first place? How did you both end up at the New Jersey Fair? And what do you enjoy so much about going to them?
You go
first.
I actually grew up in a family of normies, like totally mundane non-performer types. Couldn't get them on stage if you dragged them on, and I became the person who couldn't stay away. And I went through all of my grade school and then went to college for theater and music. In fact, I didn't have a musical theater degree available at the school I went to, so I majored in theater and minored in music. And I was like, I'm going to go and be a musical theater star. Ha 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 ha. Yes, so it didn't quite work out that way. I worked at a bunch of theaters, went right out of college and did a couple of things. Was in New York for a short while, but I was a dresser. I worked in wardrobe. And I kept looking at the people on stage going, I can do what you can do. And I was just looking for that like real opportunity, because all the theater I'd ever done was community theater. And one of my friends got into, I think, the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. And I was like, wow, this is a long commitment. And then the same friend was like, well, I'm doing this New Jersey Renaissance Fair. It's only 2 weekends. And the first year that I auditioned for it, it was 3 weekends. And I was like, all right, some outdoor theater. This would be really fun. And I had at least been to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair for maybe 5, 6, 7 years before then, which, was an excuse to get dolled up and go out and be someone. But the cast thing was always a little bit beyond me because it was the length of the commitment. I'm going to try this New Jersey one because I think I can get away and do it. And man, if I could do it as long as forever, I would. But I got sucked in because I was trying to do the legitimate theater thing and found this outdoor thing that is so easy to inhabit and so much of who I already was. Now that I've talked for 5 minutes about that, but like I was always the girl you couldn't turn her off, and that's obviously still what's happening. So when you get to Faire, it's a valuable asset.
For me, great. I remember when I was like 8 or 9, my dad and I just went for a hike, literally in the woods. It wasn't really the middle of nowhere, but it felt like the middle of nowhere. And we stumbled upon a Renaissance fair. It wasn't like the New Jersey Renaissance, like a big fair. I don't know what it was. But we were on a hike, so we didn't bring any money with us. Magical. So we couldn't actually pay to get into the fair. So I just remember being like 8 years old and seeing the gates and being like, I want to know what's on the other side. And then finally, I guess I just forgot Renaissance fairs existed. And then finally, when I was in college, the very first Renaissance fair I did go to was the New Jersey Fair. And I went there for a couple of years. And then I'm primarily a musician in my performance life. And one day I was like, maybe I should audition and try to act at the Renaissance Fair. And I actually auditioned for the New York Fair first. And I got in, but the commitment was very, very long. And at the time that I had gotten accepted, I actually was doing something with college. I was going to be away for like 3 weeks, doing a study, not really study abroad, but sort of. So I couldn't commit to it. And I was so devastated and so sad. And then like a year later, I'm like, oh, wait. I should audition for the New Jersey Fair, especially because I live in New Jersey. And so I did. And really the rest is history. I can't get enough of going as a patron or acting in them, because I think it's really just an immersive experience for everybody, no matter, what side of the stage you're on, really. They're exceptionally fun.
Okay, so aside from not being able to perform at Ren Fairs right now, but coming soon, what would you say is the hardest part about performing at Ren Fairs?
I was going to say contending with the weather.
Yes. Control the weather. What are you talking about? I know. The weather when you sing.
My character, Ella, seems to have a very strange way of making it cloudy and windy whenever I sing a certain song. But yeah. Between rain and extreme heat, it can be interesting. Yes. But also I was going to say, sometimes it can be kind of fun to sort of take the bad situation and make it fun, I played
Wed Bed Behead.
Yep.
In a pouring rainstorm under the VIP tent with several of our favorite patrons and several of our other performer friends. And it was just downpouring to the point we could almost not hear one another. And we got into a massive, we did the dating game and Wed bed beheads.
And I was gonna say you and I sang Don Gatto on top of picnic tables
Badly.
while like the wind was howling, but it made everybody happy.
But we didn't have Tallulah, and we forgot all the words.
We don't sing that one. That's her song, and we're like, we can do it.
Yeah, whether it creates a complication and also an adventure. So
it can make for even more unique, fun memories.
I think people don't always realize that some of the rainy days at the fair can be some of the best days because there's less
baking in the sun, which is always nice.
The sun is
sunny days are nice, but not baking in the sun is just
yeah. So it ends up being a little cooler, and there tends to be less people, and you get kind of a more intimate sort of song where you'll have, you might be singing to 5 people, but you really get to talk to them and get to know them
exactly
during those sort of rainy days. So I think, I don't know if that's my advertisement for going to fairs when it's raining.
I feel like I almost, as a patron, I almost always go when it's raining.
Yeah, I would, definitely.
Because I'll be like, well, I was planning to go today anyway. I'll just go anyway. And it seriously can be some more fun even than going on a sunny day, because
the sunny days can be kind of brutal.
They can be brutal.
Yeah.
If I have a plan to go, if I have a plan and a ticket, I'm going on that day unless they say, I'm sorry, it's so bad we have to close.
We're closing.
So that actually leads me to my next question, because that answered my next question, but I would love another story. Do you have any funny stories or strange occurrences?
We have plenty, because we had talked about a few of them, and then we turned some of our, this is a hard thing, but it was funny, and this was a weird thing, but it was also funny. So all right, you got this one.
All right, I'll probably need a little help with it.
I'm here for you, Ella.
In 2019, the two of us were on the cast of the New Jersey Renaissance Fair, and we were kind of being the opposite of Ella and Molly, who are very peasanty. We were both ladies in waiting to the queen, so it's basically the opposite. And then our third, Tallulah, was still Tallulah, the peasant.
Peasanty peasant. Wonderful.
And I don't think this was planned, or if it was, I didn't know about it. But the queen and several other members of the court showed up to one of our Bardy Pardy performances.
Always wonderful. Anyway, if the queen graces you with her presence when you're performing, that's wonderful. But we also happen to be her friends on stage.
Right. So we were kind of cool, because we're like, oh, we we're friends with her. But Tallulah was like, oh, it's the queen. And beyond her just watching the show, at the end of our performance, she got up and officially blessed us and made Bardy Pardy the official court minstrels.
That's really great.
She was up in the Shire.
It was absolutely amazing. Tallulah fainted.
She had a heart attack on stage. I think she rolled around a few times just across the stage. Oh, my lady! Lady! I don't know what to do.
Completely
She didn't
outrageous.
know what to do.
There are several photos. They're all on our
There's
Facebook
a video
page.
even,
You have
I think.
to see them because
there might be a video on the YouTubes. There might be a video. But
so yeah, we actually have a pin now that has the queen and us on there, proving how official we are.
Well, yeah, that's something that you would have to brag about.
Yeah, that's special edition too, because I'm the pin maker. I have now our Kickstarter pin for our Kickstarter backers who helped us make the CD we're going to finally make for them. So those are made and safe for when we mail stuff out. And then I'm going to have our official Bardy Pardy logo, and then our official photo, and all the ones I made, which has us in our different incarnations, are all limited edition. I'm not making any more. So if you got those, your original Bardy Pardy fans.
So we talked a little bit about your characters just now even, but do you think you could describe a little bit about your characters and actually where you get your costuming from?
We gave a bit of Tallulah. She's kind of the lowliest of the lowly, and we love her. She's hilarious. Our friend Hannah is Tallulah Tattersby, and by God, she's just the most immersive actress.
You need to experience Tallulah.
She's still wearing the same thing she wore that was handed to her on her first day of cast at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair.
Wow.
And so she wore that for her 2 years on cast, and then we purchased it for her with our tips. So by the third year, we decided we want you to have your costuming, and I think she's going to upgrade at some point soon.
Yes.
But so that's been Bin Tallulah has been the same wonderful character in the same outfit since the beginning. Go ahead. You had a couple of different changes. So
I've had yes. Well, I mean, since all 3 years really, that Bardy Pardy has been a thing at NJRF. I've been a different character because I was on cast. The one that I've decided to stick with in all of the other places that we are performing is Ella Grimsley, who is a character of my own creation and was my 2018 character at the New Jersey Faire. And I feel like I always sort of play the musician type because I am a musician. And my idea with Ella was to sort of take the idea of bard and go a little bit more in the storyteller route with that. So she is a storyteller. She's a little strange. She grew up in the woods surrounded by the fairies, and she might believe in magic a little bit more than some other people. Mm-hmm. My first iteration was definitely a bit more swampy than what I am today. But yeah, I think I've just with the sort of outfit that I have on now and what I usually wear. I usually have a flower crown, but I had to wear my headphones. I want to sort of pull from my life in the forest, but in a prettier, less swampy way than I have from the past. In terms of where I got my stuff, this is just a shirt. I don't know where I got it. My bodice is from the New York Renaissance Fair, and my skirt is actually from Ireland. My fiance's mom picked it up on a trip to Ireland. So
we don't stand up on interviews like this because of reasons. But if you did, that skirt would be beautiful.
Yes, I've got a cat on my lap. So.
Yeah, that doesn't help either. So I'm Molly O'Flaherty, and as well as Ella, I have gone through different iterations through my time on Faire, and I was Molly Buckets, the washer wench.
That's great.
And then I was Siobhan O'Flaherty, helmswoman for Grace O'Malley.
Nice.
And then moving on from there, I was the lady in waiting. But I took those two characters, particularly because I love pirates so much, and I want to have a peasant character like Molly Buckets, but also have a connection to all the pirate songs that I love to sing best. I get to do Dark Lady. I was singing the Grace O'Malley song. I was doing a couple of other ones, and we got some pirate events hopefully as well coming up that we'll do just, and so I smushed them together, and now I'm Molly O'Flaherty, and I am a tavern cape. So I will sing and dance on the tables in the tavern. And that's who Molly is. And her cousin is Siobhan. So she actually sails with Grace O'Malley, and she'll come back and tell me all her stories, and I'll turn them into songs. So that's my inspiration for Molly. She's kind of a little bit of Molly Buckets because I'm my peasant self, and a little bit of her cousin Siobhan.
And you have a ton of costuming, it looks like.
I do! This is funny too, because I love Maresca stuff. It's very whimsical, but the Cleo set, which I'm wearing my bodice now. I have two of them. I have one in red, one in green. So I have my day 1 and my day 2 outfits that I have accessorized to match. My shirt, legit, I have 2 of the same shirt because I found them on the sale rack at TJ Maxx with this beautiful, I love this neckline. I love the ruffle. Just got lucky on that one. But this Cleo bodice came from my very best friend, Amy, who she lucked out. She grew up and grew out. So I still fit the bodice, and now I have this one, which inspired my purchase of the other one, and I just kind of accessorized to match. I have a green hat for my green outfit, and we have the Cleo skirts to match. So but I'm a costume collector because I worked in wardrobe for so long. I was actually the wardrobe supervisor at the Prince Music Theater in Philadelphia for 2 years. And I made a lot of things while I was there because between shows, I would still have to go to work. Yeah. So I would use the sewing machines and the sergers, and I'd just make stuff because they taught me how in college, and then they couldn't stop me because I was also born on Halloween, and I love costumes since I was born. So it's just the fact I've collected everything. Half the stuff in my closet is Halloween level crap that is just useful, and half of it is, beautiful garb, and some of which I've saved up for a very long time. My pirate coat I bought from Brielle Costumes. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She makes beautiful things. Look her up online because she makes beautiful stuff. But I ain't cheap. It's really nicely made. So couldn't find a pirate coat I liked. Went to Brielle. She did that. I'm making I'm making a waistcoat right
Very
now.
nice.
So I'm still trying to make things, but it's not coming out so great. So anyway,
wanted to
costumes
throw-
are my thing.
I wanted to throw in there about costumes just because we were talking about our early days of the Renaissance Fair before. I remember like the first couple of times I went to the Renaissance Fair and seeing all of these people just on the cast, but also patrons who just had these beautiful like works of art that they were wearing. And I remember like I was there in like just a black skirt and like a peasant top that I own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one day I'll get there. And now when I think about just all the garb and the accessories that I own, and I'm like, 18-year-old Chelsea would be so happy.
My first Ren Fair, my grandmother took me to the Sarasota, Florida Ren Fair, which now is like a reasonably big deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that particular fair has grown into something more than it was then. But I remember she took us there because she didn't know what to do with us for a day, my brother and I. And we went walking around. I was like, this is amazing. And I was so upset. I remember being upset because there were so many people in beautiful costumes. And I was like, why? She bought me my first flower crown with the little
Very
ribbons
nice.
on it. And I was like, okay, I'm mollified. But next time I come here, I'm going to be beautiful princess. So that might have been the mystique for fair for me was there's a place somewhere where people dress like princesses and knights all day.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm in.
It's definitely a process where you're just sort of gathering things slowly, finding things here and there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And sometimes when you're at the fair, you're there the last day and someone's like, hey, I'm trying to get rid of these. And you
Yep.
see it and you're just like,
Okay.
I will tell you how many swords I brought home from that pirate ship that they used to have as an actual sword shop at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. 'Cause I had friends there. So they'd be like, oh, well, we're trying to get rid of this. Do you want this weird? I thought I had. Oh, I do have it nearby. Do you want this weird candle holder that we don't want for any? Yes, of course, because the pirate gave it to me. I'll take it. I got an Atem from the same guys. They were just like, well, we're emptying the chest. Here you go. You want this? Yes.
Okay.
Last day of fair for the win.
So we're going to be having your show playing on this weekend. So
It's for Valentine's Day.
Aw.
Fantasy and Valentine's Day. So we're going to sing our darkest songs for you.
Yep.
Perfect. Is there anything that people should know before seeing your show? Like going into it, anything that they should be thinking about?
I would say for the songs that we sent you for this weekend, for Fantasy February, we did go into our like most fantastical fantasy stuff.
Yes.
So we sent you our, I think we have Mordred's Lullaby by Heather Dale.
By the way, heatherdale.com. By the way, that's the song that when I sing it, the weather gets all crazy. So maybe watch the skies when that one comes on.
It's spooky. It is spooky. And then we also, in 2019, because it was the end of Game of Thrones, we pulled out Jenny of Oldstones, which we figured, okay, fantasy, both so dark. So we also wanted to send over something that is as fantastical and fun. So as I don't remember if it's in the video part, but we used to introduce it as being by our friend Sir James Hensinson. And we performed Let Me Be Your Song from Fraggle Rock, which is a beautiful, fraggly, mystical sounding song where we recruited one of our castmates to play the flute intro on his recorder. So we kind of gave you most of our magical stuff. So that's as an intro to this weekend, that's what you get from this one. But for a Bardy Pardy show, you're going to get a little more comedy, a little more folk music, and a little more, the 3-part harmony we talked about earlier. So we're all kinds of different things, and we don't exclusively sing sad ballads.
No.
Not exclusively. A lot of those, but not exclusively.
Not all.
We gave you some Dark Lady and some Wild Mountain Time the last time we were featured at Marf. So
yeah, those are great songs.
Yeah.
All right, so it has come to our lovely Marf tongue twister challenge part. I make a different tongue twister every time. So you've never seen this before. I'm going to put it in the chat and I'll give you a second to look at it. And then if you could say it as quickly as you can.
One at a time. I've been talking a lot, so now you have to go first.
I'll go first? Okay, let's see. All
Throw her
right.
under the bus.
Felix found fellow fairies flitting fearlessly from far off forest for fabulous fortunes.
That was
I I should have gone first.
That was so good. All
La, la,
right.
la, la, la. Okay. Felix bound, fellow fairies splitting fearlessly from far off forests for fabulous fortunes. All right, high five.
That
Ella.
was really good. That was so good. So, yeah, I have different people that do these when I have singers and people who, I'm going to say singers because the two of you are very good at speaking to people and you're good at enunciating. Um, when I have that type on my show, then it seems like you're much better at the tongue twisters because that is what you do.
Yep, I do tongue twisters a lot. My real job is I teach music lessons, so I do a lot of tongue twisters with my voice students. I might have a little more practice.
It definitely shows.
Hi, I'm a juggler. I'm gonna try your tongue twister, but I'm better at twisting up my hands than I am at twisting up my tongue. I can see that happening. I can see that being a thing.
The Knights were not fans. The Knights.
Oh, I can see. Poor Knights. They're so good at what they do. They don't need to be. Well, never mind.
Yeah, they're good at hitting things. Maybe not so much the tongue twisters. So you have successfully gotten through my tongue twister challenge, and now is the time for you to tell us all about what you have going on, what new things that are going to be out, and where people can find you.
Cool. Well, we finally are going to be recording the vocals for our very first album, our very first CD. Almost exactly a year ago, I finished recording the instrumentation for our CD, and then the very first day we were supposed to track vocals, New Jersey shut down. So that was it. So we're very excited. The two of us will both be there in, I guess, about 2.5 weeks to record.
Yep, 20th, I think, is our first day in.
Yeah,
this year.
So we're going to be recording some of our vocals finally for our CD, and hopefully that will be done by the time like the actual Faire season starts, so we can share with you. We'll see. You know, if COVID is still a thing, unfortunately, so we're still playing it by ear. But we're very hopeful and very excited to be getting in the studio. And for me, because I'm the only one who's been to the studio so far, I'm super excited to have Hannah and Steph join me and have them experience it. And I can't wait to hear the songs come together. So hopefully,
yes, we finished our Kickstarter on December 31st. 2019. We set it up to end precisely. We made it, and we were so thrilled. We had a couple of rehearsals, and then Ella went into the studio and did her thing, recorded all the instrumentals, like all of them, and we never got a chance to go. And so we've been literally, when do we go? When is this over? We were ready to go. We were ready, just right there.
Yep. So we're thrilled to be getting that on the road again.
Now, are
we definitely have that going on.
To get your CD online?
Yes, we're going to have physical CDs, and we're also going to be selling it basically anywhere you can find music. So iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff when it's up.
Hopefully you'll be able to find us later this year, because as we were saying, we are waiting to find out what happens with the COVIDs, but there are a couple existing contracts that we had from our banner 2020 year that we're hoping maybe turn into being able to finalize some dates later on this season.
Tentatively, we will be performing places.
And meanwhile, I mean, we've been trying to do what we can online, which is why we have some beautiful videos actually that we did. I think we did 3 or 4 over the course of last year, which is hard because when you're a musician, we can't get together like this and sing. We can't rehearse. We can't do anything virtually because everything's just off by this much.
Yep.
However, we with the magic of what Chelsea can do with her editing software, we have made a couple of different music videos, some of which were featured here in Marf in November.
They're great.
And thank you. And so we've been working hard on doing what we can while we're all still apart. We've done a couple of appearances on Shakespeare Proves Coffee Break, and we intend to go on to Contessa. Oh no, I've almost called her Dot's name. Contessa Luisa Francesca Bobesca III. But yeah, we're gonna go to Contessa Catalina's wine mixer at some point when we have the CD, so we can talk about it. And so there's gonna be things here and there online, so you should definitely find us at bardypardy.com.
Bardy Pardy spelled with D's, like dog, not T's, because we're
Bardy
peasants, we can't read.
Find us on the Book of Face and the YouTube and the Instagram. And not quite yet on the TikTok, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, great. I hope that everyone is able to find you and that your CD will come out soon so we can all listen to it. And in the meantime, they'll get to see you this weekend.
Thank you so much.
We
We are
thrilled.
so happy to be virtually part of the Massachusetts Red Crowd. Has been really, really special. So thank you so much for having us back.
Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.
Couldn't ride the horses, so they just were literally going out there like this with their lances, and it was so funny.
I forgot about that.